going on? Just getting the bag ready to go and head up on the mountain. A little bit warmer here today. What is it, Josh? About
55.
55 degrees?
Yep.
So
big change.
Yeah, big change, but a lot of rut action yesterday. I think I can't see why they quit rolling through it, so
We're gonna get after it though.
that's what we're gonna do.
Well, the first spot we got to this morning, we saw quite a few deer in here last week, and in the short area from us. But we've been spotting a bunch of deer way over there in that hillside, just feeding and meandering. So we're gonna bust out of here, go check another spot before it gets too hot. It's supposed to get like 70 degrees today, so we're gonna try to get out of here and go check another spot and find a deer, either watch him go to bed or something, because there's nothing in here. Messing with the wrong folks.
I know what this thumb does. It's itchy.
We moved areas. We stopped a couple places glassed on the way out. Saw a few deer. Nothing we're wanting to go after. No bucks. Small buck over there. Coming back in here this evening and coming back in here today where we saw that big buck yesterday evening, and see if we can't glass something up. There's a front coming in, weather front coming in for tomorrow 100%, so hopefully the deer stay up on their feet all day. It's supposed to get real warm though, so who knows what'll happen.
Yeah.
I mean, with the rut activity, I don't think that they're gonna, you wouldn't think that they slow down.
No. Yeah, because it's warm weather, but we also have that front
That's
coming
right.
in.
Right.
And with that front coming in, I think, and then after that, on Friday, it's supposed to be really
And
cold.
then a cold front's coming behind the rain. So we're gonna get down here and glass a little bit and see what we come up with. Big Hag's putting us on there. There's a deer. There's two. What are they? Bow. Down there in that yellow grass. There's two deer. Oh, I guarantee you that's why they travel these beaches.
Sagan Hagen.
Trying to find him, Hag. Trying to find him. Well, it's about how it goes this week. I was getting ready to go out back here and relieve myself. And Hagen was gonna keep on glassing, and a buck was coming up the hill, feeding to Hagen. And we didn't know he was there, and he bumped out of here. Now I just gotta find him. Bo's gonna come across over there and look here below us. I don't know if that deer busted completely out of here or
glass and bouncing around to some different areas and just not seeing any deer at all, really. Saw a doe, a one-horn spike that we've seen probably 10 times throughout this week, and a small 8-point. But other than that, it's been very dead. We've been covering some country with the glass, so I don't know. We're just gonna keep moving along until we find what we're looking for.
Get him just walking away. AV 120.
There'll be a stud next year. For sure. Well, maybe we'll get fortunate enough and get out here and get one glassed up. We've seen some deer in the last 5-10 minutes on their feet.
Yeah. Alright, so we came out to this valley field of glass, and Josh and I were looking up on the hill at something I thought was a deer, and Hagen yelled buck, and literally right below us, about 70 yards, a big wide 8-pointer jumped up and started running the bench out, and we watched him, and he went up and started climbing up over the hill, and he got on a little bench in the timber, and we never could see him where he went in, out, either direction, so we're not sure if he bedded down or not. Josh has a spot and scope on him. I'm looking with binos and nothing. As this is happening, 2 bucks and a doe come off the other side of the hill, and as I'm currently doing this interview, the 2 small bucks are tickling their horns together. They kissed first, and then they start fighting a little bit together. And so hoping that would get that other buck up by hearing that sound, but I don't know if there's a ditch that we can't see that he skirted out one side or the other, or if he's just laying there. But kind of trying to figure out what the plan is going to be from this point forward.
Yeah, they're getting after it.
Josie's right here. The gray bushes right there. Yeah. 5 flats up. There's a cedar tree to the cedar tree to the right of him. Go to the left, and it's like the big gray. Right where that roll is. Go to the right. He's right beside the bush.
Yeah.
Spot.
Well, Bo spotted a buck way across through there, and we're kind of in limbo right now. We saw another buck, like a 6-point, and we're just kind of seeing if he's gonna keep on working his way downhill or what, to come up with a game plan. we'll see here.
Oh, you beautiful, beautiful animal. Alright, so the buck that we were watching that was moving across some of these benches went into this thick rock drainage that goes up through the valley field. We did not see him come out either side. There's ways that he might have been able to go down or up through that thick stuff where we couldn't see him, but we're pretty sure that he bedded down in there. So I'm gonna go all the way around, circle. Josh stays on this side and spots, and try to come down from on top of him. The thermals should still be pulling up with the wind, but I'm gonna keep checking it as we're coming down and see if we can spot him down there in his bed. Heading over, taking a circle around to get on the other side with the truck to make it a little bit quicker. And we're gonna go down off of the road, and I marked the waypoint here on the map and work my way down around and just keep checking the wind, see if the thermals are pulling up, and see if we can get in on them. Here, all right, so the buck we're going to stalk, we just saw him go across the road here. So I think I'm gonna try to get up in the woods here and cut him off as he's going up in. So we'll see what happens. Make sure I can draw it back. Alright, so when we were coming out to put the stock on, the buck crossed the road in front of us and went up into some brush on the side hill. So we parked the truck and got out and started moving along, and we got down a ways and a little bit off the main trail, and heard a deer like blow out. He didn't blow at us, but just like run off. And so I grunted, and it stopped, and I grunted again, and this doe, which I think is what we jumped, came back and went right past us about 35 yards away. And I was for sure that buck was going to be right behind her, but he wasn't. And so we ended up following the tracks of the buck in the mud, and he went up in this really thick side hill. So I don't really know if there's anything else we can do right now. It's too loud to walk in the woods and try to follow his tracks. So I think we're going to have to back out and get back on the class.
So, man, my truck sounds like from outside it's just
Yeah. So he beat us.
That's what I started looking. Heck, we would have never seen him going uphill
No.
because he just covered.
Yep. I mean, luckily we got there at that point and didn't waste all that time trying to go down over, to put on the stock. So, yeah, he jumped out in front of us and ran down the road, and then just stopped the truck right there and turned it off and was heading that direction. The wind was blowing in the face. I put the milkweed. So we started just sneaking down the road, and that's when I heard something right up on the bank, jump. And so right away I thought it was him, and I grunted again, and it stops and comes right back, and it was a doe.
And
bet
but
your
like,
heart was pumping.
yeah.
Dude, he was sitting there shaking. I could see him.
So I'm like, and I just started seeing the body, and I almost drew, but then I caught a glimpse of the head, and I'm like, okay, so just wait. And it would have been shooting through some brush, but I think I could have got an arrow through there. And I'm waiting. I'm like, he's got to be right behind her. And we waited about 10 minutes and nothing. So we just crept down and followed his tracks. And he went into this nasty thicket. Yeah. And I went down a little bit further to an open field and did some grunts and kind of waited and nothing. So, and there was no way in hell that I could get in there and.
Oh, it's like this.
Yeah. And even try to be quiet. Like, it just wouldn't happen. So, that's
the story.
That's the story.
And he's sticking to it.
Oh, that was fun though. Whatever. Jeez. See anything else?
Nope.
The only deer, only buck in the valley.
Yeah.
He gone.
He gone.
see?
Yep.
I'm on him. Let him keep coming.
Right.
I did.
Yeah, he was holding his shoulder. You either ran his leg or his shoulder.
On the front.
Yeah. Because whenever he stopped right there, he was holding his front shoulder.
Really? I hit him on the second.
I don't know, I'm not for sure. I jerked on the first one because I didn't know. I thought you was going to wait till he kept moving.
I had a chance. I had a chance, so I had to.
You can't pass me there like that.
What do you think happened? Do you think I got him or no?
Gonna put him on speaker?
Hey.
No.
Hey.
What's going on?
Hey, you're on speakerphone, just FYI.
Alrighty.
Hey,
Hey, Mr. Martonic.
How you doing?
Hey, this is Josh. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Hey, I was just...
Get back to the vehicle. Yeah.
Well, I was calling to see if there was any family history on heart attacks or anything. Or any type of anxiety attacks or anything like that, because I can't get Bo calmed down.
Oh, there may be a little bit of that.
So, yeah, I'm trying to send you the video, but it's not going through without service there. But it looks, I mean, when he was definitely quartering two more than I thought when I shot. But
Alright, so after looking at the footage and everything else with the shot, we're going to go in and try to find my arrow and see whether we want to push forward and go toward and follow the blood trail, or if we need to back out for a little bit. It looks good, feels good, but gotta sneak in there and just check that arrow first and go from there. Yeah, for the second one. Okay. All right, let's go check your arrow out, brother. Right there.
You talking about a good sign to open up that fast? That ain't a bad sign. You got to leave, Bubby.
Do you want me to start following it, you think?
Yeah, I think that we follow it until
Where we stopped at?
Yeah. It's already come all the way up the hilltop gonna be fine in the weather, but it'll be hard tracking in the morning with the frost.
Black blood.
Me and Donnie just here for the muscle.
So we got up here to where we stopped tracking last night, and kind of the game plan is get over here and see if we can't find some blood in this high grass and this brush. And this flat goes over to a thicket on this side slope, so get over here and we got some help, see what we can find. My guess is he come through here somewhere in 10 or 15 yards. Now he could have turned. I walked that rock out right there, Chad, last night, up here on top, and didn't find any blood, and we walked it out this way a little bit. I figured he took off straight across here and went in this thicket. So take one. See if we can get this right.
Yeah.
So you want to start and just kind of recap yesterday evening to this point?
Yeah, so I'll just start from the point of yesterday when we had spotted a buck that we assumed had bedded in an area and had moved over to try to put a stalk on him, and realized that buck had left as we saw him cross the one little trail that went up over, and so it kind of changed our game plan. And when we were glassing another area, we spotted that buck, or what we assumed was that buck, heading up into this big knob and a patch there. So Hagen and I had run down and came up and tried to get into a gap or a bench, basically, that we thought maybe that he would come into there, and just set up on the ground and waited. And when that happened, we had deer around us all night. Small 6 or 7 point, or I'm not even sure what he was, came in very close, had him at like 10 feet at one point. And just before dark, then it was, just before dark, just before last shooting light, we had this big 8-point, big mature burly looking 8-point come in, and came in on a string, because I grunted right before that, and he came in coming right at us, and he went up and started putting his head up in the scrape, and I was ready at full draw at that point. And then when his legs hit the ground, he looked like he was just slightly quartering to.
It looked like to me when he went in to make the scrape and go in the tree, that he was just a easy quartering.
Yeah, barely.
But when he came down, it looked like when he came down, he kind of twisted. And when we were reviewing it on the camera last night, sitting in the truck, giving it time to lay down or whatnot, it still looked the same, that it wasn't a real hard quartering to.
Yeah.
But then when Bo and I got back to the office last night and put it on the computer, when that deer landed, as soon as he landed, Bo and I both was like, man.
Yeah, he twisted.
He came down and was like this, and it was a steep quartering to at that point.
Yeah, and he had put his head in the branches there and stuff, and I actually went through and screenshotted the stills, and in about a half a second, he went from being in a decent position that, even though he was slightly quartering to, was still very, very good shot at that angle off the ground. And when he twisted like that, and I'm looking through that peep sight, going through my shot execution, and he had twisted into it and was definitely not an angle that I wanted. And when I shot, we weren't sure last night where he hit. We thought it was in front of the shoulder. Looked like it hit the shoulder and went in, because we couldn't find the arrow. But after reviewing the footage and seeing the situation even more, it looks like what happened is I basically hit low and just caught his shoulder.
Yep.
So a non-vital hit. I mean, we had 7 of us looking today.
So we made a couple of phone calls last night, got some help this morning. We pretty much covered. Well, we started from last blood last night. We picked up from it this morning. Hagen found some blood. but it was very sporadic.
Yep.
And all of us pretty much gridded, I don't know how many acres.
Yeah, a ton.
I mean, a ton, looking for blood tracks and looking for the deer. And no beds, no more blood, a non-lethal hit.
Yeah, and it makes sense too. The way that we found the blood is the blood was all as we were going up. It was going up the hill. He went straight up over, and he was pumping it out as he's moving. You know, he's moving, and that blood was coming out. And once he got up on that easy flat on the top, he just stopped bleeding. And you know that can be very. I mean, that goes right in line with a muscle hit, you know, or a leg hit. And so I mean, that deer is going to be fine. It's just very unfortunate situation. And the one other thing that we noticed there was what I had ranged that spot at was 34 yards, and where it ended up being at was 38 yards. I don't know if it was the brush and low light I didn't see when I ranged it, or if he was just standing a little bit further back than I don't really know exactly.
Right.
I mean, I didn't range him there.
You ranged
the
tree.
tree.
Yeah, and I figure he was 1.5 yards or 2 yards behind the tree, but then we ranged it later on. The original range, we were off 4 or 5 yards, and then you add a yard or two of where the deer was standing, and the arrow's coming in low anyway.
Yeah, but but you know, okay, so there was a couple situations that were, you know, tough as far as the yardage being a little bit off, and then also the quartering too harder than I had originally thought. But what the biggest learning lesson from me with that was reading that deer as he was coming in.
Right.
And he had no idea that we were there. He was zoned out, coming in, like the other deer
Comfortable.
the other deer that came in was kind of weary when I had grounded. You know, he was looking for something, couldn't see it, you know, so he skirted around us. This deer was coming in on a string. And if I would have just been patient and waited, he would have came in, I bet, you know, would have been 20-yard chip shot. And that's 100% my fault. I own that. It was just, I didn't read the emotions right.
That takes us into your week-long hunt in southern West Virginia.
Yeah.
Ground hunting.
Yeah.
Because that's what we were prepared to grab our tethered saddles and climb, but Bo and I talked, and we opted to ground hunt the whole week.
Yeah.
That's where we were seeing the action. We got on a big buck Tuesday evening. Then we fought some weather, warm weather, fought the rain. But all in all, it was a great week. I mean, I hope that because I know that you normally don't hunt with this type of strategy.
No, it was completely different than anything that I've ever done. I've hunted off the ground before, but never whitetails like full on
Glassing and going.
Spot and stock.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's completely different. Typically, like my style of ground hunting would be more still hunting.
Right.
I'm sneaking around and
waiting and listening.
Yeah.
Calling.
Yep.
Yeah.
And this was completely different. And you know, towards the end of the week, Josh was like, "You want to go hang in the tree?" I said, "No, I want to continue to do this." Like,
Yeah.
I had so much fun. It is now, just because you can see deer doing that does not mean it's easy by any means. That is something that it was super difficult, because I mean, you have to have them either bed or see where they're going to a location, like we had with that big 9-point earlier in the week. He was going around this bench system in that valley field, and we had to get down his level, and then he bumped up, and it's very difficult. It's very difficult.
Everything really has to come together, and you have to know deer's that buck's like nuances, watching him, breeding them. It's a fun way to hunt, and I hope you enjoyed the week. We gave that deer a valiant effort this morning. I mean, we looked for him from daylight until now, and it's right, you know, midday. So I hate that happened to you. I hope that you come back and hunt with us. You're more than welcome anytime. It was a good week.
Yeah, I'd love to come back. I told you, I said this is one of my favorite places that I've ever bow hunted, and
Bo's already called the real estate agent. He's looking for a house down here.
Don't tempt me. But no, it was incredible. I mean, obviously the ending of that part there was a little bit sour, but it definitely didn't ruin the experience of the week. It's just sometimes that happens in bow hunting, and don't take it lightly, but gotta Gotta keep your head up and
Yeah, man.
learn from it.
I always say it. That's why it's called hunting, not killing.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed hunting with Bo all week. If you all enjoyed this week's hunts on our YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Go check out the untamedhunt.com. Go to our store. Get some apparel. Check Bo out at
eastmeetswesthunt.com. You can find me at East Meets West Hunt on Instagram. I also have my personal page, it's just Bo Martonic there. And then my YouTube channel, more strategy driven, some hunt films and stuff on there, which is just under my name, Bo Martonic. So thank you again for having
Absolutely,
me on,
dude.
everybody.
Yeah, man.